So today we are going to be discussing the complicated moral logistics of aestheticism. Complicated but very simple. And as an aesthete, I feel the need to clarify the questionable ethics that comes with being one. To surmise, the aesthete is a well-manicured hedonist. And if you believe in beauty as the highest law, then the destruction that may ensue will be overlooked, justified, and even excused. Now you may say, Celine, why? Why would you do such a thing? Because I believe that the artist that creates the beautiful thing, or even the beautiful person, has done far more for society and for culture than most people will do in their entire lives. So there is this, at the center of aestheticism, a profound appreciation for the artist and muse relationship. You have beauty that deeply inspires, and the artist does their best to represent that in the real world and manifest that. And that is the relationship that holds the world together. That beauty, and then inspiration, and then creation. And you can definitely thank some of the greatest minds in history for their prioritization of beauty. And I'm not just talking about fine art. I use the term manicured hedonist because hedonists live for pleasure as a principle, and aesthetes are no different. We derive great pleasure and contentment from being within proximity to beauty, from being within beauty's inner circle. The only difference I would say between an aesthete and a hedonist is that an aesthete knows when to wait. An aesthete will prolong something in order to get the greatest satisfaction out of it. There's a kind of maturity in it. We understand the importance of postponing our satisfaction for greater reward because it is well understood that beauty is not always just given to you. It is something you have to work for, and it must be earned. An aesthete, will literally wait, years, maybe decades, for a hand-lacquered Japanese trinket that'll only hold an ounce of tea. That's how ridiculous we are, okay? An aesthete is a person who lets art and beauty guide their life. And the only morality for an aesthete is living as close to beauty as possible. Beauty is definitely not always ethical. I am making the case that an aesthete is a morally fluid person and therefore can be a very dangerous person. While being an aesthete may feel like you're living close to God, and all major religions use beauty in order to demonstrate their beliefs, the aesthete is completely ambivalent. The morality of something does not matter to an aesthete as long as there is great skill in the execution, because the skill itself is what created beauty, and there's not much room for anything else. So in the aesthete's world, beauty plays a much higher hand than morality. And as Oscar Wilde famously said, there is no moral or immoral book. There is only a book that is well written or badly written. In beauty, there is truth, a great amount of it. In fact, the capital T of truths can be found in nature, a beautiful mountain range with a river running through it. That kind of sublime feeling, that's one of the greatest truths of the world, and beauty is involved. But there's also a fair amount of deception in beauty as well. For example, we can look at a beautiful person, and I think everyone can be guilty of this, and think that maybe they are more honest, they're more truthful, they're more sophisticated simply because they're attractive. And this is proven by studies that were done in the courtroom where judges will give more lenient sentences to people who are more good-looking, which is crazy. This is otherwise known very roughly as pretty privilege. I don't really like that word very much, that phrase, but it's there, we're gonna use it. So you may ask, do aesthetes necessarily strive for truth? Because I would definitely say that aestheticism is of a religious sentiment, but not necessarily in pursuit, of the virtuous capital T truth. Because everyone knows that fantasy, augmented reality, and downright lies can be far more useful than truth. And beauty as a coping mechanism is one of these extremely useful deceptions, one that I practice regularly. And I wouldn't say I'm an insane person for doing that. We romanticize things all the time, and it often helps deal with the cruel world that we live in. That's also at the center of aestheticism, is that we don't want to deal with the cruelties and the ugliness of the world. You have to deal with that on a daily basis. Why make your life much more difficult to strive for just the pure rawness of the world? That's silly. Have some fun. When you hear people cry about the romanticism of certain things being wrong and insensitive, believe them. They're right. I'm not here to stop you from saying that or thinking that. I'm here to tell you that for an aesthete, honesty is not always the best policy. And we're assholes with exceptional taste. So the last question you may ask is, what does a person such as myself do in a world that requires a great deal of morality and ethics in order to live in society? We suffer. We suffer. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. You're a champ if you watched all the way through, trying to get that watch time up. Yeah. All of my other aesthete videos were like poorly executed, done on a whim. I'm a terrible public speaker, they weren't scripted. So I really needed to make this video because those videos have, a decent amount for me at this time, a decent amount of people that have watched them, and I feel like they do not adequately represent my brain. So I really needed to make this video, especially on this morality part, because being an aesthete, if you feel that you are one and you are becoming more familiar with living like one, you will start to realize this very quickly. That you will justify certain things, that you will overlook certain things because of beauty, for the sake of it being beautiful. The whole aestheticism movement was about, art for art's sake, that there is no room for any kind of other conversation going on because you taint beauty with those things. And I can see that because once you start policing certain ideas of beauty, then they wither away and die. That's just the nature of beauty. Beauty is not meant to be tied down by society's rules. So I felt the need to make this video. I will see you guys next week. Like and subscribe as always, and bye.